The iOS 12 public beta is available today, changing your current iPhone and iPad for 2018 with features like Memoji, group notifications, and better overall performance. Sure, the final iOS 12 release date is weeks away, but the beta is better than iOS 11 and even full of insight into iPad Pro 2018 and Apple Watch 4. Best of all, iOS 12 is free to download, whether you wait for early September or download it today. Good news, Apple is already up to iOS 12 Developer Beta 9 and we've tested features like Measure, Siri shortcuts, and created a Memoji. Our older iPhones are also faster and grouped notifications make the UI easier to navigate. Here's the bad news, you won't get group FaceTime as part of the iOS 12 beta and it's not launching alongside the final software. Apple says that it has been delayed and we expect that this means it'll arrive in an iOS 12.1 update. Apple unveiled the first set of features at WWDC 2018 on June 4, but there are even more coming to your existing iPhone and iPad than it officially mentioned on stage. That's why we created this handy iOS 12 explainer. No, iOS 12 isn't the biggest software update, but it's obvious Apple is making its mobile operating system both reliable and competitive with Google's Android E. You're going to like your iPhone and iPad more, even with the iOS 12 public beta. iOS 12 release date: June 4, developer beta launched, to paid Apple developers. June 25, iOS 12 public beta launched, it's free. Likely September, the final iOS 12 software with new iPhones. You can now test it early, as there are 3 iOS 12 release dates, one for developers, one for public beta testers, and one final version coming soon for everyone else. The developer beta is available now and gets more frequent refreshes. But it's early software and you must be a registered Apple developer. That costs money, $99 for the annual membership. It's for people who like to tinker with software weekly, and so far Apple is on iOS 12 Developer Beta 9. The iOS 12 public beta is the one most people will want to test out, and it's also now available to download. It launched on June 25 and is completely free. It's also likely to be less problematic than the developer beta. Expect more stable updates every 2 to 3 weeks. Apple has currently rolled out iOS 12 Public Beta 3, always one step behind what the developers have access to. Both versions of the iOS 12 beta will be unfinished software, so we advise you to proceed with caution before deciding to install iOS 12 beta on your primary device. iOS 12 Beta 1 was great for us, but we had minor reset problems with iOS 12 Beta 2. Waiting for the final iOS 12 version is a safer choice if you rely on your iPhone daily. The release date for a stable iOS 12 version should be in September, alongside new iPhones for 2018. No guarantees, but that's how it seems to work every year. iOS 12 reliability. Apple's looking to put the problematic iOS 11 behind it. Older iPhones will be 40% to 70% faster at certain tasks. iOS 12 will focus on reliability and performance with this update, and support all of the same iPhones and iPads that iOS 11 worked with. Apple called out the iPhone 6 Plus, specifically, saying iOS 12 makes this phone 40% faster at launching apps, 70% faster at launching the camera app, and 50% faster at displaying the keyboard. Keyboard typing and other routine features on older iPhones can slow down with every new iOS update, and Apple is looking to change these pain points with iOS 12. This makes your existing iPhone and iPad more reliable, and your older devices can be used by family members or be sold now that they'll be more function with iOS 12. They don't have to sit in a drawer because they're too slow. Here's a concrete example already. For us, the public beta has been reliable enough to download. There's the occasional iPhone reset or hang-ups, but we actually found it to be more reliable than the problematic iOS 11 in some instances. So far, so good. iOS 12 hints at Apple Watch 4. Apple is readying an Apple Watch 4, at least according to an iOS 12 developer beta 2 update that references Watch 4,1, Watch 4,2, Watch 4,3 and Watch 4,4. That indicates two sizes and both LTE and non-LTE versions of the smartwatch. It's just like we saw from the Apple Watch 3, originally referenced as Watch 3,1 to 3,4. Apple Watch 4 rumors indicate a 15% larger screen, by reducing the bezel, and a larger battery, hopefully for sleep tracking and an always-on display. iOS 12 doesn't confirm these new features for the iPhone-compatible smartwatch, but it does appear as if Apple actively tweaking its software for new watch hardware.